All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good to see you. Big waves to you. So I'm going to get right into it this morning because I got some things to share. And the word for today, and I know Coach does, I've read her notes. She's lickety split. She's got the notes down this morning and the lesson. But the word for today, I'm pulling it up real quick. It's disrupt. Disrupt. Now I'll tell you, I've lived my whole life disrupting. At times, it ain't been such a great thing. It has not been such a great thing in the disruption process. But so I do know this word, but if you look at it, it's drastically alter or destroy the structure of. But another, Coach, can you hear me okay? Okay, good deal. But here's where I want to go with the example this morning. Another example is to cause radical change, an industry, a market, by means of innovation. And I have the privilege of working with Coach Myra Miles a lot, and we talk a lot about profession. We talk a lot about just different avenues. And I think when you're in something, I want you to reflect on yourself this morning and think about what you're in right now. Whether it's Alan White's company that he runs, or it's Myra Miles running this program and creating something she's running, or Brent Palmer creating this movement that he's creating in his profession. I want you to think about you. Cause radical change in an industry, a market, by means of innovation. Disrupt. See, when I think about disrupt, I think about players in the industry like Apple. Apple disrupted the industry. Airbnb, Uber, Amazon. How many of you at one point in your life went, there cannot be anything bigger than the Walmart superstore? Like, you can get everything there. And then in pops Amazon that changes the game. I'm thinking about companies like Corvette that just recently disrupted the world with this mid-engine Corvette that looks like nothing they ever created, that now is the talk of the town. See, Mark Shaler said, disrupt, change the status quo, or you'll become it. And so I want to look at how to disrupt the status quo really quick. Number one, we've got to begin with asking why. See, we've talked about this before on here. How many of you work in an environment where you've heard this? It's just the way we've always done it. It's just, hey, let me challenge you to do something. It's okay to ask why. And let me tell you something. If the why is weak, you're on to something. If somebody says, well, we just always put the Christmas tree over here in the left part of the room. Well, why? Well, because my great-grandma did it. Well, that might be a little weak. You know, if you want to put it on the right side of the room, you put it on the right side of the room. Like, go figure out why. And if it's weak, you're on to something. Number two, and we're talking about disrupting right now, be transparent and vulnerable. This is huge. See, thanks to the internet, and I don't care what profession we're talking about. We might be talking about the school system. We might be talking about sports. We might be talking about network marketing. It doesn't matter. The internet has changed the game for all of us. Consumers are more savvier today. Coach Myra Miles tell you, like, students, parents, they know more about school systems, the inner workings of program, same way in business. Like, consumers are savvier than ever. So being able to present my brand with confidence, chest out, shoulders back, I'm confident about what I got in my brand, but also honesty, also generosity. It matters. I got to be quick, but I got to tell you this. I went down and I visited Coach Myra a couple of months ago, and she did something out of generosity for the community and for the business owners, and something they could come to before the game. And I couldn't tell you how many people were so appreciative of the Generosity Act. See, that's building a brand. That's being, because the world's savvy now because of the internet. Number 3, think customer versus competition. Here's what I mean by that. Don't think, well, all the competition sells buffalo wings. If I'm an Applebee's, I got to sell buffalo wings. Here's thinking outside of the box. It's the holidays. People want potato soup. I don't care what Ruby Tuesdays is selling. We're selling potato soup because that's what the consumer wants, and we're putting it out there. Number 4, pivot rapidly. I got 2 more. Pivot rapidly. Established market leaders take longer to pivot. So that's an advantage for us. If we're not established, man, we can go out and pivot. What does that mean? Pivot rapidly, test, change, test, change. Remember this, you put something out, it does not have to be perfect. You're going to test it, change it, test it, change it, and that's called pivoting rapidly. And the last thing, to be disruptive, be bold and brave. There will be pushback from your family, from your friends, from your coworkers when you're challenging the status quo. Here's what I'd challenge you to do. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And at the end, Coach Myra, if you'll let me, I'm just going to share something from Theodore Roosevelt, but I'll wait till the end to do that. So I'm going to turn it to you.
All right. Hey, you bringing it today, Coach. I know when I saw your notes, they was full of some heat. So thank you so much. I love this word because I feel like that's what I'm having to do right now, to disrupt. I'm not going to read another description of what that is or what the actual word means, but let's think about this. Disruptive thinking is simply about thinking differently. Disruptive thinking is simply thinking about something differently. It's thinking that challenges the traditional way of doing things in an organization, in your home. Like Coach said, Grandma's Christmas tree was over here, so we're going to put ours over here. So, you know, it's so important to stress that to disrupt, and disruptive doesn't necessarily mean dangerous. You know, a lot of people think disrupting is dangerous. Again, why? Well, we've always done it that way. So in my opinion, to disrupt something, it's a good thing. The older that I have gotten, especially in the last 15 years, I have truly bought into that, more so than ever. So why keep doing things the same old way? Ask yourself that. Why should you keep doing things the same old way, whether it's in your life just personally, your work life? Why? Are you flourishing, doing everything based upon how you've always done it? Or do you need to spice things up a little bit and take a step up? Ask yourself those questions. You know, we got to have a vision and a plan in order to grow personally and professionally. Some of us have walked into situations where everything is the same way it was 30 or 40 years ago. I'm a living example of that right now in my career. So why keep going with the flow? I'm asking that question constantly. Why has this always been done this way? Why are we not progressing? Well, I can tell you why. People get comfortable when they've done the same old thing. They're not willing to disrupt. Okay? So are you just comfortable with being average? But are you ready just to bust up into something and disrupt the apple cart? I'm going to challenge you to be willing to just jump up in there and disrupt that apple cart. Just try it. You might get uncomfortable for a second, but that's it. You know, if we want the same old things, you're going to get the same old results. If you just keep on sitting on your hands, that's exactly what you do. Me personally, I am busting in, disrupting something every single day. Why? Am I trying to be hard to work with? No, because it's my passion to see others in this system flourish, to have things they haven't had. Doesn't take rocket scientists. Disrupt something. you know, here's one way to disrupt. Buy a bunch of flashy things. Buy a bunch of things. We talk about the internet. Get a bunch of flashy things and let people start seeing what you're doing with it. Listen, people are nosy. They want to know, what the heck is that? Why are they doing that? We are releasing something today. If you've been following me and all on social media, we've been doing a countdown. Something new's coming, something big. Today, this morning, I'll tell y'all, this is a secret. We are fixing to launch the most unbelievable athletic website. It's on collegiate level. We've incorporated both of our middle schools in it. So I challenge you and I want you to look at that. So it's disruptive. It was disruptive. I can't take credit for it. My assistant and our marketing people are the ones that do it, but I'm so fired up about that because I refuse to settle. I want to disrupt. I challenge you to be disruptive. Take pride in being someone that isn't scared to be disruptive, especially if it's for the good of the group. Isn't that what life is? Relationships. If it's for the good of the group, go on and disrupt. Do it. Remember this, in closing, those who disrupt their industries change consumer behavior, alter economics, and listen to this, transform lives. Isn't that what we were put on this earth for? Anyway, I challenge you to get a little bit more disruptive. Just get a bee in your bonnet. Let's go with it. Love y'all. See you tomorrow.
Coach, thank you so much. That it's got me fired up because going into a new year, I mean, thinking about your goals for 2022, what you're going to accomplish, what you're going to do. I think disrupt has got to be in there. Like it's got to be like playing in your head right now. And I want to read you something as we end. And it comes from, you know, how many of you's heard the man in the arena?
Yeah.
Because if you're out disrupting, I hope this is motivation to you because, you know, I talk about there's going to be people that come after you. There are people just going to question you. There's people, you know, right now there's things that happen in my profession because of social media. And I have people to ask me all the time, why do you make all those posts on social media? Why are you putting that? Like I have friends make fun of me. I have, you know, I don't care. I don't care. I'm on my journey to disrupt. I want to be different. I want to win on a big scale. And Theodore Roosevelt said this, for all the skeptics out there, for all the people that like to stand back in the corner, that's not challenging their limits, they're limiting their challenges. They're the cheap seat people. And here's what he said. For Theodore Roosevelt said this, the man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows great enthusiasm, the devotions, and spends himself in a worldly cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold, timid, cheap seat ticket holders who know neither victory nor defeat. He's in the arena fighting. That's what it's all about. That's what this life's about. Challenging the limits and going after greatness. Love you guys. Grateful for you, Coach. Thank you for the lesson this morning.
Thank you.
Have a heck of a Wednesday out there.
Y'all go get disruptive.
Great.
Bless you.
Get
Thank
disruptive.
you.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Coaches.
Bye.
You guys.